think what the market want to see now going forward from here is the improvement in the macro and micro numbers. So while the uncertainty is over, the fear that in case of a change in government, the policies will change, and as a result, the growth period may get lengthened, elongated, that fear is over. But let's keep in mind that now it's time to go back to basics, and if we look at our macro and micro, the situation probably is not as great. There seems to be a risk of fiscal deficit slipping out of the target. Tax collections have been lower than the target, and the growth is not reflecting in the earnings of the corporates. So I think that is where we have to be back to. Thankfully, the oil price globally continues to support us, so that will be a positive factor if it remains that way, and so does the currency movement. So net, I think it's back to basics. Uncertainty, the risk of policy changes not being there anymore, but now back to focus has to come back to improving macro and micro.
Point, in case you are puzzled and trying to understand that why despite the mandate Nifty reversed. Well, history may not repeat itself, but it certainly rhymes, because the Nifty fall yesterday was nearly 6% from the day's high, and it has happened again after 2014 when NDA1 got the mandate. So too much of coincidence here, just too much of coincidence here. And another coincidence here is that I remember when NDA1 came to power, crude also started falling. I mean, there's nothing to do with the mandate what Indians have given, but it's just a coincidence, right? Kunj, too many coincidences. We are from the same village also, that's another coincidence.
Yeah,
I always tell people.
As they say, if you allow me, yeah. So if you allow me to digress away from Hindi, himmate marda madade khuda. In other words, if you use the filmy dialogue, there's some dialogue that आप कुछ करना चाहो तो पूरी कायनात आपको करने के लिए जुट जाती है. So probably something similar has happened to this government in its first mode 1 and mode 2, that all the global factors have helped it. In fact, if we look at the monsoon track record of last 5 years, that has also been reasonably friendly. So let's see what happens going forward. But yes, the oil price will continue to remain a challenge, especially if it moves up with this news flow of Iran and Syria war and all that happening, and US again going strict on the sanctions and this and that. So that will be a challenge. Now we are coming close to monsoon. That is something that will have to be looked upon. And net, I've always been saying this for last almost 3 years now. The Indian equity market story has not been as much of growth, especially in last few years. It has been more of the asset reallocation. After talking for last 10, 15, 20 years that Indian equity penetration is not there, the money invested in equity from the Indian savings is hardly any pittance. That change has happened after in the last 3 years. We could assign the reason to demonetization, or maybe it would have happened otherwise also if demonetization were not there. Probably, I don't know. The trend would have had to come to this reallocation of money to productive asset classes at some point or the other. So the money which was going to the non-productive asset classes, physical asset classes, gold and real estate, has significantly come down in last 3 years. So coming back, so that has been the story, and that is what the story will continue to be. So just now I myself was saying that the growth is not there, macroeconomic numbers are not there, corporate earnings are not there, but that doesn't take away the fact, at least my view, that as a result will equity market not give return? My answer is no, that is not the case. The equity market will give return. The return will come from money inflow that will continue to come in, the reallocation of the asset class from real estate, from physical asset to financial assets, that will continue. Within that, yes, we have seen the phases where in last 1 year large caps sharply outperformed the mid and small caps. Is it time for small and mid caps to perform? Probably yes. So those kind of changes will keep happening. Wherever the result support is there, the return obviously will come there. But net, because macro is weak, because micro is not growing, will the equity market, equity investment not give return? I don't think that will be the case. The equity investment will continue to give return.